Shabbat Shalom. Just a heads up, though we're not going to discuss anything graphic, I am going to talk a little bit about what's going on. So if your children are blissfully ignorant, you may want to give them a break. Sorry, my apologies. But that's up to you. I agree. 10 days after Jews throughout the world were confronted by the horrors of October 7th, we faced further devastating news when the New York Times, the BBC, and the Associated Press reported that Israel had bombed a hospital in Gaza City, killing more than 500 patients in the early days of the war. News of the attack spread quickly, with headlines across major news outlets worldwide channeling anti-Israel rhetoric to a fever pitch. As we soon discovered, these reports, based solely upon unverified claims from Hamas, were false. Upon reviewing available intelligence, Israel declared that a Palestinian Islamic Jihad rocket, not an Israeli bomb, had caused the hospital explosion. Still, major news outlets refused to retract their initial claims until, in an unprecedented move, the United States released its own intelligence data 5 days later, verifying the Israeli report. But in 5 days, significant damage had already been done. Anti-Israel movements, just waiting for news of Israeli misconduct during the war, pounced quickly, sparking mass demonstrations in Beirut and Amman, ceasefire protests throughout Europe and the United States, as well as the cancellation of a planned meeting between President Biden and Mahmoud Abbas of the Palestinian Authority, effectively changing foreign policy and public discourse regarding the burgeoning conflict. And these are but the latest consequences of a decades-long practice at news outlets across the globe who regularly rush to portray unsubstantiated claims from Hamas and other terrorist organizations as authentic news, a practice that has all too often come at the expense of Israel and the Jewish people. Our tradition teaches that trading in unsubstantiated allegations, such as the erroneous reports delivered about the Gaza hospital, I feel the same way as you do, risks a forbidden form of expression called Motzi Shem, spreading falsehoods. The prohibition against some such speech comes from a teaching in our Torah which states, Lo tisa shema shav, do not bear false rumors, and never join hands with someone deceitful to deliver an unjust testimony. The Babylonian scholar Rav Sheshet suggests that anyone who repeats a false report, or accepts a false report as truth, or testifies to a false report, knowingly or not, should be thrown to the wolves, while his predecessor, Rav Kahana, teaches that a court may not hear the testimony of one party until the other party arrives, lest a court hear false accusations without an immediate rebuttal. But the significance of Motzi Shem Ra in Jewish tradition is not confined to matters of religious law. This Shabbat, we'll read from Parshat Miketz, the tale of Joseph's journey from an Egyptian jail to Egyptian royalty. But it's worth remembering how Joseph ends up imprisoned in the first place. His Egyptian master, enraged by an unsubstantiated report of Joseph's misconduct, immediately sends Joseph to prison, never taking the time to talk to Joseph, never taking the time to confirm the report of his impropriety. In the meantime, Joseph's fateful journey begins in the very same way. V'yaveh Yosef et dibatam ra'ah el avihem. And Joseph brought evil reports about his brothers to their father. These evil reports, according to the medieval commentator Rashi, refer to allegations of his brother's misdeeds which Joseph supplies to his father in order to earn his esteem. But they also earn Joseph his brother's enmity, stoking a hatred so profound that his brothers happily sell Joseph to slavers just to be rid of him. And so, from religious doctrine to biblical narrative, our tradition is quite clear in its disdain for those who spread falsehoods, wittingly or unwittingly. And if that were insufficient, then the seemingly endless list of unsubstantiated claims that have led to the mistreatment and slaughter of our people, from blood libels to conspiracy theories, to Holocaust denials, to the Gaza hospital explosion, should easily dissuade us from ever sharing reports without absolute confidence in their truthfulness. If only. A good friend of mine who teaches a history course on violence at an American university just shared a disturbing tale about his class, one that seems indicative of our world's collective mindset in recent days. Since the course's inception several years ago, students have been told that they may attend any campus lecture or speaker on violence for extra credit. Following the terrorist attacks of October 7th, the course faculty, two of whom are Jewish, expressed their grief and support for Jewish students before reminding their class about all the lectures currently available for extra credit, including several speakers hosted by the Israel Studies Center. That afternoon, a TA for the course emailed news of a recently available extra credit opportunity, one that had just been announced, a teach-in on Palestine, hosted by several university professors. Minutes later, someone took a screenshot of the TA's email and posted it to Twitter, accusing the professors of requiring students to attend a pro-Palestinian rally and calling for the professors to be fired. In the days that followed, thousands of people shared these false allegations online. Hundreds called the university demanding the dismissal of these professors, while others chose to send threats of violence to the TA and the professors of the course once their emails had become public. Ultimately, campus faculty reached out to several social media influencers who thankfully corrected the misinformation. But as in most cases of Motzi Shem, significant damage had already been done to the school, to the professors, and of course to a bewildered and still traumatized teaching assistant. Perhaps the most pernicious development of the digital age is the ease with which we may share unverified claims with our community and the broader world, an ability which we, as a Jewish community and as a temple community, have exercised far too often, sowing panic and discord by spreading unsubstantiated tales, gossip, and sometimes outright fabrications. Now, typically, our intentions are pure. Maybe we're trying to show our love and support for our fellow Jews. Maybe we feel threatened by something and want to alert others. But we need to remember that there's nothing pure about the damage we cause when we share or repeat false allegations. That's why our tradition is so insistent of its disapproval of speaking rumors and misinformation. There's a beautiful Buddhist teaching that implores us to carefully ask 3 questions before we speak. Is what we are about to share true? Is it helpful? And is it kind? If we take the time to ask and answer these 3 simple questions before we speak, before we post, before we screenshot and comment, then we can be confident that we're exercising the caution that our tradition demands. And step by step, building a world based upon truth and upon trust. May this be the light we shine upon our world in this season and in all the seasons to come. Shabbat Shalom.